Hi, I'm Karen.
I'm Sam. I am a social justice comedian, which makes as much sense to me as it probably does to you, hearing those words together. And I travel the country and do a comedy show about social justice issues, and I write about gender and sexuality when I'm here in Austin, Texas.
I teach middle school, high school, college students, adults, kind of everybody across the spectrum, and answer all kinds of crazy questions all the time.
Does food affect the taste of cum?
How does fisting even work?
Have you ever heard of something that makes a woman's ejaculate taste like chocolate?
What is demisexuality?
Why do men think it's sexy to twist your nipples like they're radio dial?
What are the worst ways to break up with someone?
What is a vaginal orgasm versus a clitoral orgasm?
And we put together a show.
A sex show.
A sex show, yeah. But not that kind of sex show.
There were these letters, and it all kind of started with these gigantic letters, and they're as tall as I am, and there's 3 of them, S.E.X, and they're lit up like Chicago-style letters.
And that's where the joke of S.E.X comes from, the way that you might spell it around a kid. And
it's going to be a mix of humor and entertainment, and also you're going to learn some stuff.
I've really been wanting to do sex education for adults for a long time.
Sexuality education, it's something that young people have access to and college students have access to, but not something that a lot of adults really are able to find somewhere where they can go and talk and reduce stigma and get real answers to whatever questions are lurking in their minds about sex and sexuality.
A standard kind of format didn't really work. So I wanted something that was going to be a little edgy, a little fun, kind of like a good date night.
The show is half comedy and half lively Q&A.
I'm going to do a comedy set, and it'll be about the theme. So we're going to do some fun comedy about sexuality, about sex, about all those things that I basically never get to talk about on stage because I tend to speak a lot to students, and I'm excited to do some material that I've been wanting to do for a long time.
It's a really simple game. The rules are simple. There's 2. 1, if I show you mine, 2, our parents yell at us. Like, that's what happens.
My friend came walking up to me with this gal, and she looked really excited, and he looked like even more excited, which was bad because he's like that friend that if he's excited, something bad's gonna happen to you.
But really, I was looking for beer because that seems reasonable. And luckily, there were like 9 beers in the fridge, which my first time at an orgy, didn't even know it was an orgy, so I will try not to be judgmental, but if I'm gonna have an orgy, there's gonna be more than 9 beers, right? Right? There's gonna be bowls of liquor, just like everywhere.
Said a lot of things on stage I never thought I'd say on stage. I said a lot of things I wouldn't have said if my parents were there. And shared some embarrassing moments with the hope that it would help people be comfortable in an uncomfortable space so that later when Karen comes up for the second half, they can ask questions they wouldn't have asked before and have like a really fun interactive experience.
Here's Sam talking about some really, really embarrassing, really hilarious stories. And seeing that, I think, is just good for people.
And I think that one of the things that Karen does really well, and one of the things that I was excited about this partnership for this show, is not bringing shame into a conversation that people will naturally bring their own shame into. And doing a really good job of helping people, when they ask a question, check the shame at the door and have a safe conversation about the answer to that question. And there are so many questions that people are just so burdened by shame, they're afraid to even ask, like out loud, let alone inside themselves, that will weigh on them if they don't ask them forever. And we had people asking questions in a public forum and Karen answering these questions on stage in an upbeat, candid, fun way that I don't think many people would feel comfortable asking their best friend in the most intimate, private situation. So there's something really empowering by the publicness of it. And also, I hope that when people leave, they feel like they've learned some things and they had a great time, but really they leave with the spirit that this is a conversation that they are able to and will benefit from continuing to have after this weekend.
Ritzy night.
It's going to be...
Yeah, it'll be the most well-dressed night of sex jokes you'll ever attend, I think.
There's so much to tell you, and there's so much fun that's going to be happening. Don't want to ruin all the surprises.
We don't.